Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Glad to be back.
Today, we're tackling something, well, huge-E,
Yeah, no kidding.
the web. But not just how we use it today,
Right.
more like how did we get here
Yeah.
from those first clunky websites
Oh, I remember
to, well, everything we've got now.
It's quite a story. And luckily, we've got a great guide for this journey.
Oh yeah, lay it on us.
A 2008 paper, Key Differences Between Web 1.0 and Web 2.0
Catchy.
by Cormode and Krishnamurthy. Don't worry, we'll make it painless.
No jargon, I'm in. So one thing that always gets me is this whole user as first-class citizen thing. Is that just tech speak or?
It's actually a really important idea. Think of it like this.
Okay.
Web 1.0, you're at the library, lots of info, but you're just browsing.
Makes sense.
Web 2.0 is like that cafe, bustling open mic night. You participate.
Ooh, I like that. So instead of just reading the menu, I can, like, write on the chalkboard.
Exactly. And it's not just how we act, but how websites are built now.
Facebook, Instagram. Totally different from those old pages.
Right. The paper talks about user profiles, connections, sharing.
All designed to put us, the users, right at the center.
Which changes everything.
Back in the day, clicking a link was about as exciting as it got.
Now it's about network effects. Ever notice how Facebook's better with more friends?
Well, duh. No friends, no point.
That's it. Each person adds value. You posting that cat video.
Hey, some of those are educational.
It's not just you. It's the sharing, the comments, the data created.
Data, right. That's where things get really interesting. And maybe a tad scary.
We're getting there. Next time, we'll dive into that data explosion and how it's shaping everything.
So, last part we were talking about Web 2.0. And wow, it's like a moving target, writer.
Absolutely. Always changing.
So how do researchers even study that? I mean, it's not like they can just pause the internet.
It is tricky. You can't just hit a pause button. This paper, though, it gives some good strategies.
Okay, so what? Do they just have like a whole team constantly on Twitter refreshing?
More interesting than that, I promise. It's about looking at the structure.
Of the websites, you mean?
Yeah, but also what makes people DO stuff online, the incentives. And then the big one.
Measuring something that won't sit still. That's what's got me curious.
Right. Like we were saying, mountains of data now.
Yeah.
How do you even start to deal with that?
It's like trying to take a sip from a fire hose, except it's like memes and rants instead of water.
And the paper actually has this great example. We talked about those network effects.
How everything gets more valuable, the more people use it.
Right. Well, imagine trying to download all of YouTube every single day.
Oh my God. Why? Why would you even?
To actually see those effects happening, the connections, the trends, it's all in the data.
But that's impossible, isn't it? To keep up with that.
Pretty much. And that's just one platform. Add in Facebook, Twitter, the whole shebang.
My head hurts. So are we talking about the algorithms then? The ones that seem to read our minds?
Exactly. It's not just about collecting the data, it's what you do with it.
Which, on one hand, cool, Netflix gets me. On the other hand, kind of creepy.
Right. Like, where's the line between useful and, like, invasive?
And this is where I start to think the more connected we are, the less private we are.
It's a trade-off. And the paper talks about this electronic fence idea. Have you heard of that?
Can't say I have. Is that like a digital dog fence, but for our minds or something?
Kind of. It's this idea that even though we're connected, it can create these bubbles.
Oh, yeah. I've totally felt that.
Huh.
Like, everyone online agrees with me. And then
You realize it's just showing you what it thinks you want to see.
which might not be the whole picture.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not all sunshine and roses, this Web 2.0 thing.
Exactly. And that's why this paper is still so important. Being aware of how it works.
That's step one to, like, taking back some control, maybe.
I think so. It's not just convenience. It's shaping how we see the world.
It's wild when you really think about it, like all this stuff happening behind the scenes, right?
Oh, totally. Algorithms, data, it's like a whole hidden world.
And we're just like along for the ride. Although this paper, it doesn't shy away from the, I don't know, downsides of it all either.
Yeah, like those parasites they talk about.
That's what caught my eye. Not exactly a warm and fuzzy word, is it?
Well, it's kind of the point. These are sites or apps even that basically exist because of these big Web 2.0 platforms.
So they're like feeding off of them? Like, is that what that means?
In a way, yeah. They tap into that data we were just talking about, often in ways we don't even realize.
Oh, okay. Now that sounds familiar. Are we talking like those quizzes? Tell you what cheese you are based on your, like, Twitter likes.
Exactly. Seems harmless, right? But that quiz, it's accessing your data, building a profile.
And suddenly, I'm getting a bunch of ads for stinky cheese, even though I'm more of a cheddar person.
See, It's all connected. And it makes you wonder, what control do we really have?
Right, like it's great until it's not. Although, you mentioned something before about how things could have been different.
Oh, yeah, the paper brings up this idea called FOAF, friend of a friend. It was this early concept.
FOAF. Rings a bell, but vaguely.
Yeah.
Like a precursor to Facebook Friends or something.
Kinda, but the key difference, FOAF put users in control of their own network instead of each site having its own separate thing.
So it's like, I own my friends list, not Mark Zuckerberg.
Exactly. Imagine that. You take your network wherever you go online.
Huh, that's kind of brilliant. So why didn't that take off?
Good question. It's a whole other deep dive, honestly. But it makes you think.
About what Web 2.0 could have been, yeah.
And maybe what it could still become, right? Like, it's not too late to learn from this stuff.
That's a good point. Knowing how we got here is like the first step to maybe making some different choices.
Exactly.
Well, on that note, I think we've given everyone plenty to think about today. From those early websites to, well, all the complexities of Web 2.0. It's been quite the journey.
And it's still going. So thanks for exploring with us.
Until next time, keep asking those questions, and maybe, just maybe, we'll shape the future of the web together.